All right, peace, power, and love. Welcome to the big picture. Um, just a lot on my mind. Appreciate you all who have subscribed. I'm hoping to get them numbers up. It's kind of hard for me dropping content. I guess what I'm gonna have to start doing is dropping content on the road and uploading it. But nonetheless, I appreciate those of you all who take the time out to, stop by and listen when I do drop new content. Uh, Shout out, I ain't shouted out my family up in Boston and my boy, my brother Patrick. I've been praying for him. He really been going through a few things, like we all are. But Brother Patrick, uh, just want to let him know that I'm thinking about him and really, just praying that things get better. I pray for us all. In my time of meditation, it's just part of what I do, and especially being in the truck all the time, it gives me a lot of time to think, a lot of time to really look deep inside my mind and really um realize the things that I need to work on, the direction that I need to go. It just gives you a lot of clarity as to, excuse me, as to what lane to get in. But yeah, I think we all, like I say, I just stole one of Tupac lines, but it's so real. It's time for us to be real with each other, time to heal each other. We honestly all could use some healing, and it's really time for people to get on one accord and start moving in a collective direction. I keep saying this, and it's like I get tired of hearing it, and that's why I'm hoping I can build up to live where I can actually take a few phone calls, because that's what I did on my other platform. I was able to have guests call in, and that did. Uh, I enjoyed it because uh, had a lot of debates and all intellectual, debates. And sometimes we didn't agree, but we just agreed to disagree, and that's what we have to start really doing uh, with one another. My brother Kevin said years ago, we always give the wrong people the benefit of the doubt. And that stuck with me because that really did hit me upside the head, because we do bend over and go out of our way to show empathy and compassion to people, irregardless of how they treat us, what they do to us. But when one of our own does something to us, well, it's on and popping. It's cracking. It's about to get lit, as they say now. That's how we are towards one another, never giving each other the benefit of the doubt, never showing one another that love and that compassion and that empathy. that we all need, because we are always the brunt of the joke. We are always at the bottom of the barrel. We are always the ones who are left out, who just missed it. I'm sorry, you just missed it. How many times have we heard that? Uh, so many times the doors have been closed in our faces when we have the ability. And not only that, I mean, let's just be real. We have the ability and the intellect to do whatever it is we want to do. Because just I think about some of the situations I've been in as a grown man, and I'm like, you panic. That's just natural, but you're not overwhelmed because you've had the struggle before. You know, that's one thing about us. You can take it all, but we're going to still come up with something. And it's been done time and time again, even to this very day. Even to this very day. Um, and we never stop to think and realize, if we were to put ourselves first, if we, like I said and stated a minute ago, give ourselves everything that we give to others. And I'm not saying go out there and be a hellcat. No, I'm not saying go out there and mistreat people. But I'm saying is put your own first. Stop putting others before your own. That is what bothers me about us. Now, what I really want to touch on is this election. I'm kind of hoping that we're starting to see what the selection is all about. Uh, it to me is become nothing more than a clown show. There's nothing dignified about it. It is really, let me just tell you the truth, nothing to be respected. The whole system, period. And the selection process has become more of a clown show than anything else. And then what bothers me first and foremost is how much energy we put into a vote. It bothers me every 4 years we still make no progress collectively. We make no progress as a people. For one, we're too separated amongst ourselves in these different organizations and religions and fraternities and all that other garbage that ain't got nothing to do with who we really are at all. But some do it so that they can get ahead. And look, I'm not going to knock nobody. They know who they are. They know what they do behind closed doors to get the fame, the fortune, and we seeing it play out in front of us with the Diddy distraction. And I don't address that here. Uh, but we all know right from wrong. We don't need any entertainers and actors and singers and rappers and none of that to tell us what we need to do. But we always, every 4 years, put our energy behind somebody that's not going to do anything for us. See, because I won't be shamed or made to feel like I can't speak because I don't participate in this paganistic, hedonistic, miscreant, enriched system. So that is my choice. And you can say what you want to say. People can feel what they want to feel. Our ancestors were removed from here for several reasons, not just because they wanted to vote. No, they were being removed and made strange fruit just for being here, period, just for existing. Let that sink in, because that mentality hasn't gone anywhere. And, you know, we secondly always look for someone who, or look up and at someone who we put our faith in, give the benefit of the doubt to, who's not going to do anything for us anyway. See, I didn't give a damn who won. I ain't have no dog in that fight. You know, I wish the popular candidate had been somebody like Jill Stein. You know, I done a little bit of reading on her and her vice presidential candidate. At least they were more related to me, to what people really need, because we had 4 years of, you know, Kamala Chameleon. She did nothing for us. There are a few things she did. Like she said, she wasn't going to do nothing specifically for blacks. She meant that, and she said that, and she meant that and did that. Like I told y'all, read about how she changed up the criteria uh, uh, for qualification at with the Freedmen's Bank. I talked about that a few videos ago. Look, Google that. I be saying that shit. Y'all don't take my word for it. Just Google it. It'll pop right up. How she, yeah, did. A matter of fact, I actually think I found a video here on YouTube where she at the at the actual press conference. So yeah, that's what she did. You know, so I wasn't gonna put my faith in behind her, and then not only that, her character. You know, I'm nobody's judge. You know, nobody's judge, but I don't have to like who everybody likes, and it bothered me that so many people was getting butt hurt because of the fact that you wasn't feeling Kamala. See, that was another just divisive type thing that we, as black people, let divide us. I sit and watched it. That's why I don't participate in that bull. That selection is just that, a selection, not an election. How are we not understanding? Did you see when Donald Trump got 277 electoral votes? They pretty much called it. They wasn't worried about no popular vote, and even if she does get the popular vote, it's not going to change anything. Just like with Hillary Clinton when she ran against him. Same thing, electoral. So this is America. When are we going to stop acting like these people are going to change and be fair and just and run a fair and just system? It's not going to happen. And this is what I'm trying to get anybody who's listening with a spirit to understand. This what's happening right now is spiritual. And things are going to start happening that are going to be, I can't even imagine what's ahead. I really have been bothered in my soul by what I feel, just real uneasy. Uh, and it's been like that for about a year and a half now. Uh, just finding out that they were going to allow him to run should have let you know that was for a reason. See, people who take things and start to lose them will do anything to keep them. A thief don't want to give back what he stole. Y'all should understand that, honestly. A thief don't never, even when he get caught, he don't want to tell where he put the goods, where he hid the loot. He don't want to, so what is going to open your eyes to what we're living in? Over the past 2 months, there has been, I'm sorry, over the last, well, since August the 6th, and shout out to Taylor House Publishing, because I want, every time I use somebody's, uh, story or whatnot, I try to shout them out. And there's a few people I do follow because some of us really are kindred spirits. And a lot of us feel the way I feel. And we put all that, like I say, all that energy into everything else. But ever since August the 6th, there have been 6 people found in trees and such. And that didn't just start happening, but there has been an uptick. And while we are so focused on trying to vote, which doesn't matter your vote, and I was actually listening to NPR the other day, and they were giving the criteria, the rundown of if there had been an electoral tie at 269, that even the popular vote will not come into play in making the decision. The decision then goes to Congress, and then it would go to the Senate, and there would be a chain of command it would go through, and they would pick a president and a vice president. And I was like, well, I'll be dang. That was new to me. I didn't know. But what I did know is that the popular vote meant nothing. And now, unfortunately, yeah, we're going to have to deal with 4 more years of, the devil. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it. That fool is crazy. Yeah, but my point is the energy we put into everything else. Let's take a chance on us. Why not say, you know what? Every 4 years, let's just say we start right now. And if we were to start right now, by the next 4 years, that election shit wouldn't even matter. Because we'd have our economic base where it needed to be. See, because it's all about the time and the money that we put into it. And we don't need these entertainers and shit trying to get involved. But this is something that we can do at a grassroots level. Everything that has ever been done through us, by us, started from bottom up. And once it started going up, it was going up, and unless they burnt it down, looted it, and did what they normally did when they saw, because it was one thing for sure, two things for certain. Once the time and the effort was put into it, it was going to thrive. That's one thing about our people. Whenever we put the time and the effort into what it is that we want, and stop putting our time and effort into people that are not going to help us at the grassroots level, our lives will change. Then we can start living a little bit better. When we can build our own economic base separate from all of it. Keep our money amongst ourselves, within our community. Start buying land together. Building communities on those lands together. Start learning how to live and love one another again, because it's coming a day, we're going to throw it in now, we going to need each other, and we need each other. Period, point blank. I can't keep making it any plainer. And I was so discouraged in the fact that people were so at odds with one another behind their choice. And that's why I chose to just stay out of it, because I already knew that, Donald was going to win again. I think that anybody with their eyes open, all three of them, knew that America was going to put him back in power because of his rhetoric. And I'm going to say this, and I want you all to take heed to this, because they are going to allow him to say and do some of the most ignorantest things that you can imagine. Remember his last presidency. So he's got a base of fools. So what I am saying is, it is time. That time has come. And see, preparation is always needed before chaos. Storms that happen, you can't prepare for them. You don't know if they're really going to hit a Category 5. You don't know if they're going to be as direct. The weathermen are just guessing, and then look at how, just example, how the tornadoes just have been overwhelming, even in the cooler months, even in the fall, winter months. Those are things we can't dodge, and certain things we can prepare for, so that we can be proactive in an effort, and not only proactive but collective as a force. Put all that Muslim, Pentecostal, Church of God in Christ, uh, all of that organizational religion, and put all that to the side, because it should be black first. Those who are truly ready to struggle for your freedom and your independence. And not only that, the struggle won't last long if enough of us get involved. It won't even be a struggle. I always revert back to the boycott in Montgomery, 381 days, changed that whole city. When them brothers and sisters stopped getting on them buses for them 300 and a little over a year, 381 days. That's why I always say, let's do something different this year. 365 days in a year. These brothers and sisters stuck together 381 days, kept their money in their pockets and amongst themselves, and almost broke the city. They were having to lay off bus drivers and shit because the clientele wasn't there. Why are we gonna pay you to drive a bus to go pick up nobody? They've been doing this now for over a year. A year can make a difference, and look how fast a year goes by. Sometimes the smallest of sacrifices can be the most effective. But a sacrifice is always necessary for an effect. And those of you that understand what I said will understand that. If you know, you know. So many things that we could do are effortless in what needs to be done. But just like with the Montgomery situation, everybody has to get involved. That worked because everybody got involved and carpooled, and they walked in groups, they did what they had to do to stay off of those buses, and made a difference in a little over a year. And just think, if we take 1 year and really dedicate ourselves to building a true economic base where we can buy land, build our own commercial properties, our own neighborhoods, our own stores, our own, like our ancestors did. See, I'm hungry for that. I'm different from y'all. I'm ready to see us living that life. Because it seemed to me, even though it was a struggle because of the pressure that was being put on them, it was still a better life. Because they had their own, even though it was taken. Even though they lost, some of them, rest in peace to the ancestors that lost their lives at the hands of these devils because of their jealous, thieving, barbaric ways. And see, this is what we got to prepare for. Stop telling your children some things is all right, because some things is not all right. And we need to stop telling our children these falsehoods and start giving them the truth of the matter. Because the world is not going to be nice to them just because of who they are, unless we build a new world, unless we turn the world around. And if it's any people that could turn it around, it's us, because anything that we have ever done, we master that shit. We don't just do nothing half-assed. We, without effort, in most cases, take shit to a whole nother level. And just imagine if we harness that power that we have and stop letting other people use it for their benefit and start using it for our own benefit. Imagine what we could leave our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Imagine the legacies that they could build, and so on and so on, and start bringing family, black family, back together like we supposed to be, because we've always been the tribal people. Even those of us who are here with Native American blood, tribal people, those with African ancestry, tribal people. Everywhere that we have traveled across this globe, and mind you, we did it first because there was no one here but us at first. So yeah, we were the first ones to do it all. And everywhere we went, we stayed some places. Everywhere. Ain't nowhere exempt from us. There would be no civilizations anywhere had it not been for the ancestors, for our ancestors. We wasn't sailing the world, stealing people and taking people's shit and killing people and raping people and kids and doing. We wasn't doing what they was doing. Columbus and them and all them. We wasn't doing all that. And excuse me for using that R word, but yeah, we wasn't doing all of that. So, what I don't get is why we don't redirect that energy that we put into that faith that we put into nothing. Because that's what we doing. We putting our faith into nothing. See, we are struggling because we're choosing to. And this may upset some people, but we're making a choice to struggle. Because if we want to do better, we'll do better. And like I say, right now, it's really about collective efforts. Efforts in numbers. Efforts that are standing on one ideology, and that's black first. Period. Ain't no this over there and this over there and that over there and all that scattered out, because that's what it do, keep us scattered out. So if you can't put that one to the side just for the collectivity of a black first opposition, I don't understand your mindset. Because the things that are happening to us out here in real time, I watched a video the other day of a man older than me, an elderly gentleman, being accosted by these coward cops. I'm really sick and tired of seeing that. I'm really sick and tired of seeing the stories of us. And see, now one of these candidates was focusing on that. Even Miss So-Called Ski Weed, Greens in the Bathtub, Kamala Chameleon. And no, Donald don't give a damn. Do we? I've asked this before. Do we give a damn? This is happening to us. What's not happening directly to you still affects you, because it's being allowed to happen. And we're not making enough damn noise. And that's why I can appreciate Brother Richard Taylor for his efforts in covering what happened and what's happening with the Javion McGee case. And I talked about that on this channel, on this platform. But he is really stayed with it. And I've been following him like ever since the case dropped. And it is really messed up what is being uncovered about this little small town where this young man was found taken away from us like strange fruit. And that's why I say there was another one, the Norris. I can't remember his last name, Mitchell. I can't remember his last name, but they found this brother in a house that was being constructed. Yeah, and he was strange fruit. That's what they found him. There have been six or seven since August 6th. And we've been worried about who gonna get in that White House. Whoever get in that damn White House, what are they gonna do for us? What have they ever done for us? And what you can thank Biden and Harris for is a Asian hate crime bill. Now, do you think Donald Trump is going to consider signing the George Floyd uh, uh, Police Act into law? No, because he's been talking about uh, giving police complete immunity. So we had better get ready, because these police departments, sheriff departments, and all these legal systems across this land is flooded with these old white nationalists and other hate groups that despise us. Just look at how often these police are managing to throw ammunition at us. I watched a video the other day. I was getting loaded, and there was a young man who I guess had his window down and his hat blew off, and they had pulled over on the side of the road so he could get his hat. And so he had gotten his hat and was going back to the car. And I guess there was a female in the car driving it. I don't know if it was girlfriend or what. I'm not going to speculate. But in the process of him grabbing the hat, wouldn't you know, a policeman would pull up and, start questioning him. And they're on the shoulder, not impeding traffic, not doing anything illegal, simply retrieving his hat. And don't you know that this coward ass cop chunked ammunition at that brother? They have a real high propensity to manage to figure out how to throw ammunition at us. But they keep it in their pocket when they got the complexion for the protection. So what is it really going to take for us to do what's best for us? What's right for us? Because we should really realize and understand by now that the system is not for us. The system is not for the people, but especially not for us as indigenous people to this land, as people, some who were brought here forcibly. So my whole thing is they don't have room to point fingers, and they don't really have room to govern anybody. Look at how they built this country. Look at how they continue to operate in this country by funding a war that is a complete genocide. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care what you call it. Yeah, what they doing to them people over there in that Gaza Strip is just that, exterminating them people. And America is funding it. So feel how you want to feel. I ain't the one doing it. I'm just the one letting you know what's being done. This is what's being done with our tax dollars. But they can never do anything for us. No administration has ever managed to do anything to make they wrong right with us. And there's a list that you can look at and see who America has paid reparations to. And it's a pretty long list. And we're the only ones that have never managed to get our reparations. All the countries that they went and tore up, dropping, they toys over there. That's what they like doing. And then they have to, you know, take the taxpayers' money to go and fix what they tore up. But they can give the people who had slaves money, but the people who were slaves and had nothing got nothing. Didn't even get the funky 40 acres and the mule that they said. Because they knew with 40 acres and a damn mule that we would have took over the world. They know. They already knew. We can't give them nothing. If we really give them something, you know how they are. You see how they do. We ain't never broke them. You think that kind of mentality don't still exist? Yeah, they still trying to break us. We still ain't broke, but we still ain't come back together like we need to, like we supposed to. Brothers, sisters. See, we becoming the next generation of elders now. And we got to start going back to the old school. It's time for us to get back to basics and bring back that old school mentality, that old school upbringing, and that fearless mentality that our brothers and sisters had. Power and peace to the ancestors. We gotta pick up they fight because they didn't get to finish it. We got to finish it. We got to bring that truth back to light. We can make it right. And then we can show our kids what and how to move. And then start establishing things that our kids can have to pass on. And they kids can have to pass on. That's what I'm talking about, the shit that we done allowed them to do. And straight off the backs of us. Just like when hip hop came out. You couldn't beat them greedy devils trying to scoop up talent. Taking control of masters. And then you had some of our own out here slaving they own in that industry. Everything that we created, they have always managed to profit more than the creator. And just imagine, had we kept ourselves segregated and been able to profit off of all the things that we've created. Imagine what kind of wealth base we could have off of all the things that we've created. And I do mean everything, because they ain't creating much of nothing over here but chaos and destruction. Yeah, that's it. That's all they know how to do. You know, remove folk. That's all they know how to do. And we were always so much bigger than them, even without the weapons. That's what killed them. That's what they didn't understand. Killed them mentally, because they could never really break us with the whips and stripes. And the resilience, like I say, for us to be here, think of what those before us had to go through. And if you're not prepared for what's ahead, you ain't gonna never be ready. And we gotta stop getting ready and be ready. It's just that simple. And see, now we're about to see some things. We're about to see some things. You know how emboldened certain people were 4 years ago? It's back. It's back. And this fool been talking madness about what he gonna do. So when he start doing things that certain people don't think, that we can't be included. So we gonna have to be ready and prepared. And not only that, start planning, because we need each other. We ain't never needed nobody else. Like I say, I hate that we even got involved with this system, period. I wish we'd have stayed segregated. That was the best thing for us, because we had our own. And we've been able to continue that. Anything that they have right now, we would have surpassed that. And our economic base would be phenomenal. We got to start thinking ahead. It's time for us to start protecting one another. And when I say protecting one another, I mean just that. It's time for us to stop being victims of these coward ass cops and these old racist white folk out here who just, finding truck drivers and taking them and doing what they want to do to them, putting people inside of houses that are being constructed. We, and like in the case of Sonya Massey that we all saw, and that one still pisses me off, how she apologized to death. She apologized to her arrest. And that one still bothers me. Like Elijah McClain apologized to his demise. Comply my ass. We've been complying for 400 years, and what the hell have it got us? $400 of compliance, and we still getting the whip and chains. Just not physically. We need to disconnect, unlearn, relearn, start bringing our culture back to the forefront. Because everybody do what we do. You look at hip hop now, I'm seeing old men doing hip hop like it's supposed to be done. Old white men. I'm seeing young white boys starting to do hip hop how it's supposed to be done, with your wordplay and this and that, not all that mumble mess that these devils have promoted our young talented minds to do. So I'm just trying to understand what it is that is going to motivate us enough to start to make a true collective effort and change the condition. And we all see the condition. We all saw the condition last night. And like I say, if you couldn't see through the smoke and mirrors that they was gonna put that dummy back in office, yeah, you start meditating a little bit harder, you know. And I say that all the time to people, you know, find you somewhere you can sit that's quiet where you can just, and for me, that's my truck rolling down, you know, rolling down the highway. Uh, and I'm just, you know, that solitude is what it is. It allows your spirit it allows you to really open up. Uh, I can really get in that state and really zone out. Just it's one little stretch I take where it's about a good 2 hour stretch where I can really just put it on cruise and kind of just zone out and stay in my lane and get on in there. Uh, y'all, I can't, you know, I can't make you understand how important it is. I mean, these selections ain't about us. It ain't for us. It's time for us to be about us and for us. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's time for us to be about us, for us first. And damn what the people say. They ain't never liked when we come together. They ain't never wanted us to do that. They do everything in their power to make sure that that we stay divided. Like you had these old, like I say, the most celebrity, you know, Negro pens that I was talking about a few videos ago. Radio and Lil X, uh, uh, news media stars and shit, you know. And I had a lot of respect, and it's been really eye opening over the last few years that people that you had a certain amount of respect for, when you really get to see who they really are, you just lose all that respect. And anybody that will sell their integrity, anybody that will sell their integrity, I can't trust them. And they can't lead me nowhere. They can't tell me nothing because they got a price. And somebody can be paying them to tell you whatever, leading you this way when you're supposed to be going that way. That's why I don't put none of my faith in these celebrities, entertainers, because they all got a price. That's how they got where they at. They'll do certain things for a little change. We need to start being about us, y'all. Period. That's all I got. That's all I got. Damn these elections. These selections. Yeah, anyway, like I always say in closing, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching, y'all. Let's take this 2025 where they gonna try to do what they think they gonna do and flip it on their ass. Let's start really putting together some shit that's gonna counteract what they trying to enact. And you got to stay a step ahead of the fool that's trying to trip you. Cause if you don't, you'll forever be getting up. And with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Um, y'all see the shirt. I do got the merch. Like I always say, it's time to plan, organize, unify, because we all have a key right here and right here. I'm out. Peace, power, and love.